Hello, everybody over on the Rockfin. Derek Nicole Dice, Independent Left News. Osama number 5. What's up? Hey, Mares, what's up? How you doing? Honest question. How has your mood and energy level changed today? Personally, mine has gone from righteous outrage to depression. I mean, I'm glad Trump's gone. I think my mood was actually, you could summarize it by that photo of Bernie sitting alone, just like, a year ago. Speaking of that studio, a year ago, I was using that studio like once a week. And Ron would come on, we'd have Kim Iverson, Convo Couch, like Dave Anthony. We'd have all these people on in the studio. We'd show clips and we were talking about the Democratic primary. And I remember Ron saying, man, if Bernie's we're going to the inauguration. And cautiously optimistic. Oh man, even with all the cheating, Bernie still won Iowa. He won New Hampshire, even with all the cheating. Oh, wait a minute. So, I mean, I'm glad Trump's gone, but I'm not excited about Joe Biden at all. And it is a little depressing because it's like, I mean, Lady Gaga, who's this, sexual assault survivor, is singing. Like, I guess she doesn't care about Tara Reid. She ultimately just cares about her career. I mean, and the military industrial complex is going to keep going. Wall Street's going to keep going. I don't know. I can't say I was like, I wasn't excited today at all. I was just sort of like, oh, great. Trump's gone. All right. I'm glad there wasn't crazy violence at the Capitol or capitals all over the country. I haven't heard. I mean, I'm sure there might have been little things, but I'm glad there wasn't some mass insurrection and gunfire and craziness. But, watching Joe Biden speak, he's not the sharpest guy mentally anymore. It's pretty obvious. So it's just like we're all being set up for Kamala, who's going to push in, more cop stuff and more war. And, we're going to be at war with Iran. That's going to happen. I don't see that. I don't see us avoiding that. Not with this crowd in there. Not with all these warmongers. Not like Avril Haines and, the Secretary of Defense is going to be this guy that was on Raytheon's board of directors. So I don't know. I don't see big changes coming. I don't. So yeah, they're going to go after immediate aggressor with Venezuela. That's what's going to happen. And this shithead vote any blue will do crowd will just make excuses for Biden and Kamala, and so I don't know. I don't like, breathe a sigh of relief. Trump's gone. Okay, fine. Now what? Like Ice Cube said, now what? Trump's gone. Now what? No, it's over. Like, it's Trump's gone. The Democrats have the House and the Senate and the White House. Now what? So, that's how I feel. Colton R. Dean, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Look into the special election in New Mexico 1st Congressional District. Our Congresswoman is nominated to be Secretary of the Interior. Now there's an opening to nominate a progressive candidate. Well, let's hope, Colton. I mean, if it's a progressive Democrat, that's a lie. There's no such thing. The Democratic Party, it's never going to happen. But yeah. If it's a corp Democrat, if they're a Democrat and they're calling themselves progressive, they're not progressive, because they'll get brought into the fold and they'll have to acquiesce, just like the squad is doing, you know. So I don't know. Socialism is not a dirty word. You got that right. Well, let's do a segment. Let's talk about this, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Well, Biden got inaugurated today. He is now the president. And so what's going to happen? Because the Democrats have the House and the Senate and the White House. There's no more excuses. So Biden has signed all these executive orders today, but there's a couple he could have signed that he didn't. He could have pardoned Julian Assange. You don't have to wait till your last day as president to pardon people. You could do that on day one. That's what the People's Party said they would do if they ever got a People's Party person in the White House. Day one, they would pardon Julian Assange and Edward Snowden and Chelsea Manning and other people, you know, Leonard Peltier and a bunch of other whistleblowers. So Biden could pass. This is something I learned today from Nick Brana. He could have passed Medicare for all today on his first day, because he could declare a national emergency, which we are in because of COVID-19, and say everybody gets free health care. But the health insurance lobby is not going to let him do that. So let's listen to Biden's speech and see what we hear in there, okay? Oh, shit, this idiot's gone. I am glad he's gone. But now we got to listen to Biden. So, yay, Trump's gone, and then this guy. And I got to be honest, I'm just watching today. I'm watching this speech, and then I watch Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi give him a present or whatever, and I'm just like, why are our government run by all of these old people? Like, you're done. Like, new rule. Once you're 70, I'm sorry.
Chief Justice Roberts, Vice President Harris, Speaker Pelosi, Leader Schumer, Leader McConnell, Vice President Pence, my distinguished guests, my fellow Americans.
Trump didn't show up. What a crybaby. Couldn't show up. Obama showed up to yours. You coked out crybaby.
This is America's day. This is democracy's day. A day of history and hope, of renewal and resolve. Through a crucible for the ages, America has been tested anew, and America has risen to the challenge. Today, we celebrate the triumph not of a candidate, but of a cause, the cause of democracy. The people, the will of the people has been heard, and the will of the people has been heeded. We've learned again that democracy is precious. Democracy is fragile. And at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed. So now, on this hallowed ground where just a few days ago, violence sought to shake the Capitol's very foundation, we come together as one nation, under God, indivisible, to carry out the peaceful transfer of power as we have for more than 2 centuries. As we look ahead in our uniquely American way, restless, bold, optimistic, and set our sights on the nation we know we can be and we must be. I thank my predecessors of both parties for their presence here today. I thank them from the bottom of my heart. And I know the resilience of our Constitution and the strength of our nation, as does President Carter, who I spoke with last night, who cannot be with us today, but whom we salute for his lifetime in service. I've just taken the sacred oath each of those patriots have taken. The oath first sworn by George Washington. But the American story depends not on any one of us, not on some of us, but on all of us, on we the people who seek a more perfect union. This is a great nation. We are good people. And over the centuries, through storm and strife, in peace and in war, we've come so far, but we still have far to go. We'll press forward with speed and urgency, for we have much to do in this winter of peril and significant possibilities. Much to repair, much to restore, much to heal, much to build, and much to gain. Few people in our nation's history.
To everything turn. That's what it's I like those. Is this inspiring anybody? 330 million people, and this is the best person we could come up with. I just like, this guy wrote the 94 crime bill. This guy eulogized a segregationist. This guy was vice president when Obama gave the banks $1 trillion and didn't prosecute anybody and let 6 million foreclosures happen. He was there letting this happen. Kamala Harris was busy as the attorney general, not prosecuting Steve Mnuchin. She could have. She had all the evidence. Mnuchin donated to her attorney general campaign. She didn't prosecute him. Then to return the favor again, he donated to her senatorial campaign. And then she returned the favor by nominating Steve Mnuchin Secretary of Treasury. So for all of the like, yay, get rid of Trump's evil band of people, we're bringing in warmongers, we're bringing in corporatists. Goldman Sachs has again got their people all inside of Biden's cabinet. Raytheon, Boeing, all of them. The oil lobby, I mean, Big Pharma, all of them. Let's listen to this in case you need to sleep.
Have been more challenged or found a time more challenging or difficult than the time we're in now. Once in a century virus that silently stalks the country. It's taken as many lives in 1 year as America lost in all of World War II.
Then why don't we have free health care? Something Joe Biden could sign by executive order. Oh yeah, did you know that? He could say, because of this is a national emergency, COVID is a national emergency. It's a global emergency, but he could say it's a national emergency, and therefore I'm giving free Medicare for all. Done deal. He could do that today. He could have done that today. He could wake up tomorrow and do it. But he's not going to, because he takes his marching orders from the healthcare lobby. That's why during the Democratic primary, he would sit there and go, how's Bernie going to pay for Medicare for all? How are you going to pay for it? The same way we pay for all the wars. And Medicare for all is actually cheaper than our current healthcare system. So I just want everybody who's all partying in the streets, we could have free healthcare today. Joe Biden could have said that today. Done, free healthcare. We're in a pandemic, 100-year virus. We can't have this crap anymore. He could also do student debt forgiveness. 85% of all college loans are through the federal government. So the president, through executive order, can just go, done. Forgive the loans. We don't even need tax money. Forgive the loans by executive order. Yep. Yes, he could do those things. What did he do today? Oh, we're back in the Paris Accord. And I was like, okay, great, fine. He put back in place all of the deregulation that Trump did. And I'm okay, great. And I said this is my problem with Joe Biden or any of the corporate Democrats that were running for the primary. Now he's going to get in. He's just going to put back in place all of the weak shit that was in there before Trump and they're going to claim victory. Victory. We did it. We're in the Paris Accord. No, we have climate collapse. People in Florida are already moving to higher ground. Homes up on hills, they're pushing people out. They're gentrifying those neighborhoods, and the real estate is going up in like neighborhoods in Miami and stuff like that. Because the beachfront property is going to be worthless pretty soon when your fancy mansion is under a foot or two of water. So that's what he's up against. And he's not. And so we got 100 days. And then already today, the Democrats and Republicans, they're making a deal with Mitch McConnell to work together. And they're saying, we're probably not going to sign his stimulus bill. It's not going to get put into place till March. So he's screaming about this 100 days, 100 days. I'm going to get 100 million vaccines out in 100 days. We'll see. I did a story. He's wanting to do rent forgiveness in his stimulus plan. Okay, where is it? Not getting it till March? Oh, guess what? In 11 days, everybody's got to pay rent. And then in 28 days, they're going to have to pay rent again. And then in 30 days, they're going to have to pay rent again. On top of the 6 to 9 to 10 months or whatever, people are back on their rent. And the landlords, who most of whom are small business owners, who haven't been paying their mortgages. So this centrist bullshit, this weak-ass centrist bullshit, here it is. Here's more of it. Here's the leader of weak-ass, applesauce-eating centrist bullshit.
Millions of jobs have been lost. Hundreds of thousands of businesses closed. A cry for
trillions given to Wall Street under the CARES Act that both Democrats and Republicans signed for, voted for, whatever you want to say. That's not in a speech.
Social justice, some 400 years in the making, moves us. The dream of justice for all will be deferred no longer. A cry for survival comes from the planet itself. A cry that can't be any more desperate or any more clear. And now, a rise of political extremism, white supremacy, domestic terrorism that we must confront and we will defeat. To overcome these challenges, to restore the soul and secure the future of America, requires so much more than words. It requires the most elusive of all things in a democracy: unity. Unity. In another January, on New Year's Day in 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. When he put pen to paper, the president said, and I quote, "If my name ever goes down into history, it'll be for this act, and my whole soul is in it." My whole soul is in it. Today, on this January day, my whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation. And I ask every American to join me in this cause. Uniting to fight the foes we face: anger, resentment, and hatred, extremism, lawlessness, violence, disease, joblessness, and hopelessness. With you
perpetrated by the billionaire ruling class. Is he going to mention the fact that billionaires have had record profits during a pandemic while Americans wait in line for free food because they can't buy their own, because they're broke and starving and in debt?
We can do great things, important things. We can right wrongs. We can put people to work in good jobs. We can teach our children in safe schools. We can overcome the deadly virus. We can reward work and rebuild the middle class and make healthcare secure for all. We can deliver racial justice, and we can make America once again the leading force for good in the world. I know, speaking of unity, can sound to some like a foolish fantasy these days. I know the forces that divide us are deep and they are real. But I also know they are not new. Our history has been a constant struggle between the American ideal that we're all are created equal and the harsh, ugly reality that racism, nativism, fear, demonization have long torn us apart. The battle is perennial, and victory is never assured. Through Civil War, the Great Depression, World War, 9/11, through struggle, sacrifice, and setbacks, our better angels have always prevailed. In each of these moments, enough of us have come together to carry all of us forward. And we can do that now. History, faith, and reason show the way of unity. We can see each other not as adversaries, but as neighbors. We can treat each other with dignity and respect. We can join forces, stop the shouting, and lower the temperature. For without unity, there is no peace, only bitterness and fury. No progress, only exhausting outrage.
The reason we have no progress is because the billionaire ruling class has extracted all the wealth for themselves and not shared it. And they don't care about screwing over the environment. They don't care about people's education. They don't care about any of that. That's why we have this. Joe, just so we're clear.
No nation, only a state of chaos. This is our historic moment of crisis and challenge. And unity is the path forward. And we must meet this moment as the United States of America. If we do that, I guarantee you we will not fail. We have never, ever, ever, ever failed in America. We've acted together. And so today, at this time, in this place, let's start afresh. All of us. Let's begin to listen to one another again. Hear one another. See one another. Show respect to one another. Politics doesn't have to be a raging fire, destroying everything in its path. Every disagreement doesn't have to be a cause for total war. And we must reject the culture in which facts themselves are manipulated and even manufactured.
Like Russiagate? Like Russiagate. Is that what you're talking about, Joe? You mean like when for 4 years, rather than investigate the Democratic Party for cheating in its own primary, we screamed about Russia, Russia, Russia for 4 years? And there's still people even claiming, oh, what happened January 6th at the Capitol? Maybe Putin was involved? Shut up.
Yeah, we're lemmings.
My fellow Americans, we have to be different than this. America has to be better than this. And I believe America is so much better than this. Just look around. Here we stand in the shadow of the Capitol Dome, as was mentioned earlier, completed amid the Civil War, when the Union itself was literally hanging in the balance. Yet we endured. We prevailed. Here we stand, looking out on the great mall where Dr. King spoke of his dream. Here we stand where 108 years ago, at another inaugural, thousands of protesters tried to block brave women marching for the right to vote. And today, we mark the swearing in of the first woman in American history elected to national office, Vice President Kamala Harris. Don't tell me things can't change. Here we stand across the Potomac from Arlington Cemetery, where heroes who gave the last full measure of devotion rest in eternal peace. And here we stand, just days after a riotous mob thought they could use violence to silence the will of the people, to stop the work of our democracy, to drive us from this sacred ground. It did not happen. It will never happen. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Not ever. To all those who supported our campaign, I'm humbled by the faith you placed in us. To all those who did not support us, let me say this. Hear me out as we move forward. Take a measure of me and my heart. If you still disagree, so be it. That's democracy. That's America. The right to dissent peaceably within the guardrails of our republic is perhaps this nation's greatest strength. Yet hear me clearly. Disagreement must not lead to disunion. And I pledge this to you. I will be a president for all Americans. All Americans. And I promise you, I will fight as hard for those who did not support me as for those who did. Many centuries ago, St. Augustine, a saint of my church, wrote that a people was a multitude defined by the common objects of their love. Defined by the common objects of their love. What are the common objects we as Americans love that define us as Americans?
War, people dying because they don't have health care, not giving a shit about the homeless. Is that, I'm sorry, did I interrupt?
I think we know. Opportunity, security, liberty, dignity, respect, honor, and yes, the truth. Recent weeks and months have taught us a painful lesson. There is truth and there are lies. Lies told for power and for profit. And each of us has a duty and a responsibility as citizens, as Americans.
To believe Tara Reid.
And especially as leaders. Leaders who have pledged to honor our Constitution and protect our nation. To defend the truth and defeat the lies. Look, I understand that many of my fellow Americans view the future with fear and trepidation.
Because you assholes have ruined it. That's why. The climate's collapsing. We spend more money on war. 400,000 or 500,000 people have died because of COVID. Our government, not just Trump and the Republicans, the Democrats as well, don't give a damn about us. Is that why? I lost my home because I put faith in you and Obama 10 years ago. So I'm sorry if I'm a little cynical today. Okay, Trump's gone, but now we got a guy that's barely to the left of Reagan.
I understand they worry about their jobs. I understand, like my dad, they lay in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering, can I keep my health care? Can I pay my mortgage?
Then fucking give us free health care. Shut up. I'm so sick of this. Don't talk to me about health care unless you're going to give me free health care. Shut up. Shut up. It's real simple. Medicare for all. That's it. That's it. Shut up. All you stupid Democrats. Oh, Medicare, health, you're worried about losing your health. Then just give me free health care. Give the whole country free health care. You could do this. You could do this right now today. I'm so sick of hearing this crap. I'm sick to death of AOC. Shut up, you stupid crybabies. They're mean. Get out. You're worthless. Give me Medicare for all. Give me free health care or shut your mouth. Or tell me I'm corrupt. At least I take money. I'm a corrupt guy. I take money from the healthcare lobby. I'm not going to, they're paying me not to give you free healthcare. At least tell me that. But don't tell me this fight for you crap. God, I'm so sick of this shit. We could have everything we want. America could be a cathedral to democracy. We could give freedom and we could be the shining light across the planet, but we haven't been because we've been hijacked by corporations that play puppet master to this idiot he's losing cognitive decline. So we traded out a rapist with an Adderall addiction for this guy who's also a rapist. First female vice president, first, person of color vice president, female of color. Great. That's significant. That's a significant thing. Kamala Harris is awful. And all these idiots like Chink and those Pac-Man and these other shitbirds at these fake progressive channels. You better start pressuring this guy now, because let me tell you something, liberals. I don't want to hear it. There's no more. You have no more excuses. Shut your filthy, stupid, voted blue mouths. Shut them. You have the White House. You have Congress. And because of what happened in Georgia, you have the Senate. You have no excuses. Don't give me obstructionist, filibuster. No. The vice president, who is Kamala, who is a Democrat, is the tiebreaker in the Senate. So you better pass a million things. Because I've been here before, guys. In January of 2009, I was actually excited about Obama. I phone banked for him. He was going to help me keep my home. I wasn't excited about him as vice president back in 2008. I wasn't. I was like, okay, whatever. He's this career politician, but they needed to put some old white guy in the ticket to keep dumb old white people happy. Great, whatever. Who cares? But Obama, he's talking hope and change. So you have no excuses, liberals, crybaby, applesauce eating liberals. Don't pressure Biden. Wait till November. He won the election. Wait till he's inaugurated. Now, what are you going to say now? Wait till the midterms? No. Obama had the House and the Senate and this idiot for the first 2 years of his presidency and did nothing. More people are paying attention now. I'm not going to let up on this guy for a second, and neither should you, especially if you voted for him. So there's no more excuses. You can't blame Trump. You can't blame Russia. You can't blame the Republicans or Burn Bros or me and angry Jimmy Dore or Jill Stein. You can't blame. There's no more your crybaby nonsense excuses. You have no more excuses. And all of you said, we're going to pull Joe Biden to the left. Well, you should start right now, because he could give you Medicare for all today. And he won't. You stupid centrists, you liberals, you fake lefty, crybaby liberal centrists, you're the reason we don't have good things. I used to call myself a liberal. Now it's a filthy, disgusting word. I'm an anti-war, pro-labor socialist. And the things that me and the radical left want are centrist ideas in Europe and industrialized nations. Free healthcare, they've had it for 70, 80 years. Free college, they have it. Social services. A friend of mine was in France last year, and there was like, did you notice there's no old people working? I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we take care of we don't let old people work. They're taken care of. Anybody in those countries working 2 jobs and donating money for plasma? No, they're not. And I'm so sick to death of don't get mad at AOC. She's one of our allies. No, she's not. I was a huge supporter of hers. I thought, oh man, this is the future. She's the future. No, she's not. It's just more identity politics. She didn't want to force the vote. You know, when the Republicans have control of everything, they don't give a damn what the Democrats think. You ever notice that? The Republicans are like, this might upset the Democrats. It's already started today. We're going to talk to Mitch McConnell. You should be like, sorry, Mitch. You parasite. I'm so sick of looking at Mitch McConnell and Pelosi and this old idiot and Schumer and all these old idiots. You're done. Get out of there. We're back in the Paris Accord. Okay, he got rid of the Muslim ban. All right, the Muslim ban was bad, but he bombed more Muslims than Trump did. So we're not going to ban Muslims, but we're going to keep bombing them? Mark my words, we will be in a real full-scale war with Iran before his first term is up. Mark my words. They're already talking, we got a Juan Guaido. These idiots, Juan Guaido is the official leader. No, you want their oil. We've been sanctioning Venezuela and Iran during this pandemic because they won't give us their oil. I can't listen to this bullshit. That's why I don't go on Facebook. Facebook is a bunch of idiot Gen Xers, my age group, and baby boomers saying the dumbest shit. Lesser of two evils is still evil.
About their family.
Shut up.
About what comes next.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I promise you, I get it.
Yeah. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Shut up. Don't tell me Scranton. Shut up. You don't get it. You don't know what I've went through. Have you been through foreclosure? Did somebody die because they didn't have health care? Like Justin Jackson's mom?
But the answer is not to turn inward, to retreat into competing factions, distrusting those who don't look like you. Or
you're a white guy, I'm a white guy. I don't trust you.
Worship the way you do, or don't get their news from the same sources you do. We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue, rural versus urban, or rural versus urban, conservative versus liberal. We can do this if we open our souls instead of hardening our hearts. If
you did that. When Kamala Harris put 100,000 black men behind bars, what do you think that did for people's hearts and souls? When she was district attorney in San Francisco, she protected pedophile priests and said, we're doing it to protect the victims. And the head of a victims organization said, no, you're not. We want their names in public so everybody knows who these filthy pedophiles are.
We show a little tolerance and humility. And if we're willing to stand in the other person's shoes, as my mom would say, just for a moment, stand in their shoes. Because here's the thing about life. There's no accounting for what fate will deal you. Some days, when you need a hand. There are other days when we're called to lend a hand.
And we give $4.25 trillion to Wall Street and big banks like we did in the CARES Act.
That's how it has to be. Yeah. That's what we do for one another.
All right.
And if we are this way, our country will be stronger, more prosperous, more ready for the future. And we can still disagree. My fellow Americans, in the work ahead of us, we're going to need each other. We need all our strength to persevere through this dark winter. We're entering what may be the toughest and deadliest period of the virus. We must set aside politics and finally face this pandemic as one nation. One nation. And I promise you this, as the Bible says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. We will get through this together. Together. Look, folks, all my colleagues I serve with in the House and the Senate up here, we all understand the world is watching all of us today. So here's my message to those beyond our borders. America has been tested, and we've come out stronger for it. We will repair our alliances and engage with the world once again. Not to meet yesterday's challenges, but today's and tomorrow's challenges. And we'll lead not merely by the example of our power, but by the power of our example.
By bombing poor people.
We'll be a strong and trusted partner for peace, progress, and security. Look, you all know we've been through so much in this nation. And my first act as president, I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silent prayer. Remember all those who we lost in this past year to the pandemic. Those 400,000 fellow Americans, moms, dads, husbands, wives, sons, daughters, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. We'll honor them for becoming the people and the nation we know we can and should be. So I ask you, let's say a silent prayer for those who've lost their lives and those left behind, and for our country. Amen. Folks, this is a time of testing. We face an attack on our democracy and on truth, a raging virus, growing inequity, the sting of systemic racism, a climate in crisis, America's role in the world. Any one of these would be enough to challenge us in profound ways. But the fact is, we face them all at once, presenting this nation with one of the gravest responsibilities we've had. Now we're going to be tested. Are we going to step up, all of us? It's time for boldness, for there's so much to do. And this is certain. I promise you, we will be judged, you and I, by how we resolve these cascading crises of our era. We will rise to the occasion is the question. Will we master this rare and difficult hour? Will we meet our obligations and pass along a new and better world to our children? I believe we must. I'm sure you do as well. I believe we will. And when we do, we'll write the next great chapter in the history of the United States of America, the American story. A story that might sound something like a song that means a lot to me. It's called American Anthem. There's one verse that stands out, at least for me, and it goes like this. The work and prayers of century have brought us to this day. What shall be our legacy? What will our children say? Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you. Let's us add our own work and prayers to the unfolding story of our great nation. If we do this, then when our days are through, our children and our children's children will say of us, they gave their best, they did their duty, they healed a broken land. My fellow Americans, I close the day where I began, with the sacred oath. Before God and all of you, I give you my word. I will always level with you. I will defend the Constitution. I'll defend our democracy. I'll defend America. And I'll give all of you, keep everything I do in your service, thinking not of power, but of possibilities, not of personal interest, but the public good. And together we shall write an American story of hope, not fear, of unity, not division, of light, not darkness, a story of decency and dignity, love and healing.
Then pardon Julian Assange.
Greatness and goodness.
And Edward Snowden and Chelsea Manning.
May this be the story that guides us, the story that inspires us, and the story that tells ages yet to come that we answered the call of history. We met the moment. Democracy and hope, truth and justice did not die on our watch, but thrived.
Well, billionaires have thrived. The American people are struggling. They're living on the street. They're dying. They're facing eviction.
America secured liberty at home and stood once again as a beacon to the world. That is what we owe our forebears, one another, and generation to follow. So, with purpose and resolve, we turn to those tasks of our time, sustained by faith, driven by conviction, and devoted to one another and the country we love with all our hearts. May God bless America, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, America.
So that's Joe Biden's inauguration, guys. He's the new president. Trump's gone. No more excuses, Democrats. No more excuses. They're going to make excuses. And it is our responsibility to pressure them immensely. And it is also our responsibility to hold those accountable that voted for Biden and won't hold them accountable. If you voted for Biden, if you voted for a Democrat, it is your duty. You should want to hold people you voted for more accountable more than someone you didn't. And if you give Biden a free pass and he does just a bunch of little incremental gestures, 4 years from now, the Republicans will put up somebody, yes, worse than Trump. How could they be worse than Trump, Graham? You give Trump with the word. Imagine an ideologue. Trump is not an ideologue. He's not smart. Trump's not a smart guy. He's failed upward his whole life. He's a spoiled rich kid. And he's just a narcissist. Imagine if an ideologue would have been in Trump's position. We would have had a real coup. An ideologue would have said, I'm not leaving power, and they would have had a legitimate coup. Trump not smart enough to do that. Somebody like, imagine a charismatic Mike Pence, who's a crazy evangelical, who can't have lunch with a woman because he's tempted by her boobs or whatever. I don't know why. Oh, how dare you bring your boobs to lunch? Like, what happens, Mike? Why can't you have lunch with a woman? So you think you can't be somebody worse than Trump? Oh, yes, there can. George W. Bush, he's the worst ever. And now everyone's all cuddly with him. Michelle Obama, everyone loves George W. Trump was awful. No two ways about it. He was just, though, the most vulgar version of what presidents have been doing. Did he sign an executive order to end all bombing today? No, we're still bombing. Bombs are dropping. We're bombing poor people right now. American tax dollars are bombing poor people. We don't have free health care, but we always got money for war. The Democrats in Congress have voted to approve all of Trump's war budgets, and each time he gets more money, and the Democrats have said no problem. The squad has done nothing other than a really strong tweets. Let me tell you something. Tweets can't get put into law. So the squad hasn't even like introduced a bill that was amazing and it's got voted down, but you could at least go, hey, they're trying. AOC's got 11 million Twitter followers. She's rallying them. No. So we need to protest the Democrats. We need to peaceful, nonviolent resistance, but make them uncomfortable. Show them the reality. The reality is no one's excited about Biden. The reality is more people voted against Trump than voted for Joe Biden. Trump was so awful, like, I'll vote for Biden. I don't care. So that's the reality. So he has very little time. And everyone's like, oh, don't be so hard on him. No. This is a global, like, don't pressure him. Wait. Like all the like Chank types. Wait. When? For the worst pandemic? For 60 million evictions? For 1 million people dead? For 40 to 50% unemployment rather than the 20-some% unemployment we got right now? Is that when we should do it? When? Wait till there's a bigger insurrection at the Capitol? When? Tell me when. America, if you were watching another country go through everything America's gone through just in the last 10 months, you go, this country is collapsing. So if him and these do-nothing Democrats, I hate both these parties. I hate them. I hate the Republicans. I hate the Democrats. They're all worthless. I'm sorry. Oh, let's be united. I'll unite on the fact that both of these parties are horrible. It's why we need a People's Party. Because in 2 years, at the midterms, if he doesn't do anything, or it's just little incremental crap like this, and people are hungry and starving and living on the streets because they lost their homes and have been evicted, and all these small businesses have already closed, in 2 years, the Democrats won't have control of the House and the Senate anymore. They just won't. And the Republicans will go even harder to the right. They'll become more right-wing, more fascist, more crazy. And this dumb party has been following. The Democratic Party is basically what the Republicans were in the 80s. The Republicans have gone so far to the right, they're just out of control, and the Democrats have followed them. So we have no real resistance in this country. We have two parties that are basically the same. They both like war. They both are never going to give us health care because they're paid not to. Did you protest this summer for George Floyd or Jacob Blake? He wrote the 94 crime bill. And we all know what Kamala Harris has done. Do you think there's going to be radical changes in police departments? I don't know. They're only going to happen if we pressure them. Peaceful, nonviolent resistance, general strikes. There's no more excuses. There's no wait. It's time. Wait for the wait. No. There's no more waiting. There's no more waiting. No more waiting. Vote any blue will do. You Democrats, it's over. The crybaby bullshit is done. He's in power. So are the Democrats. And if they acquiesce to the Republicans, they're weak. The Republicans never do that. They never go, gee, I hope this doesn't upset Democrats. Jam down every lefty and AOC and them. If you don't do your jobs, get out. Just quit. Go make dance videos or something. If you don't have the backbone to get this done, then get out of there. If you're going to use your celebrity to actually make change like you said you were going to, like all the people that voted for you to get you into office and supported you, little shows like mine or Jimmy's got a bigger show, said vote for AOC. We all said vote for AOC, donate to her campaign. This is critical. We all said this. So I'm not excited about today. I'm glad Trump's gone, but now what? More mealy-mouthed speeches like that? Executive order, we could have Medicare for all today. Could have happened already. Could have student debt forgiveness today. You got a student debt bill that's tough and making your life challenging because you lost your job and you're on unemployment and money's tight and blah, blah, blah. He could have done that today and he didn't. Could have given you free healthcare today and he didn't. And now collusion with the filthy Republicans, we might get a new stimulus bill in March. Oh, great. Support the show, folks. Spend the next 4 years listening to idiot liberals defend these morons because they're stupid. They've been propagandized. They're dumb. They're dumb. If you vote for the lesser of two evils, you're dumb. I'm sorry, you're dumb. You're dumb. I know college-educated people that do this. Okay, there's your lesser of two evils. Now go back to brunch. Is that what you're going to do? Because he's not going to make your life better. He's going to give you little table scraps, just enough to shut you up and get you back to brunch. Get you back to TikTok. Making funny dance videos, but not political ones. And they're going to pass a new Patriot Act because of what happened to the Capitol. And rather than just targeting like neo-Nazis, they're going to make anyone a domestic terrorist. Oh, Greta Thunberg's now a domestic terrorist. She's a terrorist. Sunrise Movement's a terrorist. Chris Small's organizing a strike against Amazon. Oh, he's a domestic terrorist. Stuff like that's going to happen. When it happens under Joe Biden, are you going to sit there and go, well, at least he's better than Trump? Because if I hear it, well, at least I don't want to hear at least Trump's gone. I don't want to hear his name anymore. He's gone. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But at least the Trumpy. No. I want change now, today. Fix it. We are in a disaster. This country is collapsing. The climate is collapsing. Fix it. I want solutions right now. I don't want tweets. I don't want anything else. I don't want dancing. I want fix it. I want bills that make my life better. I went to the dentist today. I don't have dental insurance. I have Obamacare, which is barely, it barely covers anything. So the dentist office, great staff. They did a great job. They had plexiglass. They had clearly spent all this money to make their office as safe as possible during COVID. A great team of people. I don't begrudge this dental office at all, but I don't have dental insurance. So it was $230 some today to get x-rays and a consultation with the doctor. I got to come back next week for the cleaning. That's $100, 105, I think. So I'm going to be about $340 into just a routine new patient with a new dentist, $340. I can afford it. He could have given me free dental care today, and he didn't. Just like when him and Obama let the bank steal my home and 6 million people's other homes. So I'm not celebrating today. I'm not celebrating. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. Liberals are the problem. Liberals are the problem. They get in the way of us doing really good things. Yeah, the conservatives say awful things. There's white nationalists, but white nationalists don't have any real power. They're a handful. They're bad. They're dangerous, but they don't have real power. If liberals were to actually join true people on the left, we could have everything we want. If liberals would spend half as much time holding the Democratic Party accountable as they do getting mad at progressives like me, Graham, don't be too hard on Joe Biden. Shut up, you stupid, soulless, whiny, weak crybabies. Okay? Go change your diaper, get a new baba, and let the adults actually hold politicians accountable. Okay? Thanks for watching. Shave your knuckles for Justin, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.